Good afternoon and welcome to Millennia. My name is Peter and today we explore the impacts of fast fashion and look into the lives of young buskers in London. But first, the climate crisis is at an all-time high, with 11,000 scientists this year declaring a climate emergency on planet Earth. This October, Extinction Rebellion globally took to the streets to protest for this action. We interviewed Lucy Sutton from Extinction Rebellion to learn more.
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
People got the power.
People got the power.
Tell me, can you hear it?
Tell me, can you hear it?
Stronger by the hour.
So XR Youth is the youth branch of Main XR, which it's basically just a platform for specifically young people within Extinction Rebellion, which is really important because the young people are going to be the ones that are suffering the brunt of this crisis and are processing the most grief about us, our futures and our children. You know, I could sit here and tell you all these statistics, I could sit here and tell you how we're all so tapped, but at the end of the day, like, you can just see it. In Doncaster, people's homes are being flooded. And, you know, there are floods every single year, but they're getting worse and worse. The wildfires are getting worse and worse. The rainy seasons are getting more and more intense. You can see the effects of climate change on the news every single day. And although they feel really far away and it seems like it's a faraway place now, Doncaster is bloody close to home, and it will only come closer and closer and closer when we're talking about, like, the end of what everything we have founded our lives on. Like, no more Primark to go and get some cheap garms, no more prep to go and get a nice sandwich, no more, like, hot coffee in the morning. Like, that's a terrifying prospect for a lot of people, but it can also be like such a beautiful opportunity to grow back the community that we've lost and connection with people that we've lost. And it's in spaces like Extinction Rebellion that you get to regrow that trust and love for your fellow person, and it's only through, like, building affinity and love for each other in places like Extinction Rebellion that we'll actually have that kind of future. So, you know, it goes beyond just trying to, like, stop the climate crisis, because, you know, I don't even know if we're too late or not. It goes to building a community that I can live with.
In the wake of Extinction Rebellion, the UK has also seen a rise in sustainable clothing brands that aim to decrease the overall contribution to climate change. With the textile industry making 1.2 billion tonnes of CO2 a year and 1 million tonnes of clothing going into landfills annually, it's no wonder that this topic has sparked such controversy. Research shows that people today have 4 times the amount of clothing as their parents did, and millennials are twice as likely as baby boomers to toss clothes because it's perceived as unfashionable. We spoke to fashion designer Liz Chikakailo to learn more.
The biggest difference between fast and sustainable fashion is love. It's love for the people who make the clothes, love for the fabrics that you choose, and materials that you choose to make the clothes with, and love for the people who wear the clothes. The problem we have is the sheer volume of fabric that's made each year, and the lifespan of these fabric. They're usually not very high quality. I think on average, if garments are only worn maybe a maximum of 6 times. Each time you wash polyester, it breaks down the little fibers, and the fibers go into our water system, and then the fish eat the fibers, and we all become a little bit more plastic in the process. As consumers, what we can do about the environmental problems that are caused by and the social problems that are caused by fast fashion is we can just stop buying fast fashion. The reason why we should encourage charity and thrift shopping is there is the idea that the most sustainable item that you can wear is the jumper you're already wearing. Okay, the future of sustainable fashion is really interesting, and it's changed rapidly in just the past year, and that's because of Extinction Rebellion. They have done more to bring awareness about the issues, the challenges, 21st century challenges we have with garments and the way that we consume fashion than anything else in the past 10 years, or longer. And what's really interesting is Extinction Rebellion went into schools and worked with school children. And those school children will not only be our fashion designers of the future, but they'll be our future wearers of garments. So.
Next, London has had a rise of young people performing on the streets. The London Underground busking scheme alone boasts 100,000 hours of live music performed every year. There are many buskers wanting to encourage younger people to show their talents and argue that busking isn't just for pocket money, it's also to lift confidence performing in front of a large London audience. Today, Millennia speaks with a young busker in efforts to understand more about this subject.
London, city of creativity and art. London is the third largest city in Europe and people of London need to be entertained. There are major young talents on the streets of London and busking is only getting bigger. We are going to look at what it's like being a young busker in London.
It's actually a really great feeling, I can't lie. Like, all these people walking past, it's like you kind of affect their day almost, because you can see they're smiling, some of them are singing along with it, some of them, they give you money obviously as well. Like, it's almost like your souls are connecting. I know it sounds a bit dodgy, I know it sounds a bit weird, but like, it's like everyone is kind of connected by music, and so if I'm singing it well on the street and I'm singing songs that they like, then they're getting involved, and it's like almost making people's days, but like without you even knowing, you know what I mean? It's quite a nice feeling.
My baby told me everything I need to know.
I've been doing it for the past 2 years now. And there are days when it doesn't pay well, I can't lie, and it's quite demoralising, but there are days when you walk home with like 60 or 70 quid from an hour or two of work, and it really, that's the days that like, yeah, it motivates me, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I can come out here, I can do what I love for like an hour or two, and I can go home and like give my mum the money that she needs, and then I get some money to go spend, you know what I mean? Like do whatever I want with that money. And so yeah, no, it does pay well, and I'm probably going to be doing it for a couple more years, to be honest. There are good and bad aspects of busking. The good ones being, you know, as I keep on saying before, it's like it's getting people involved, it's making someone's day, it's like it's getting compliments. And I know, you know, I don't thrive on compliments, but at the same time, everyone likes to say they don't, but you know, I do. But we all do, you know what I mean? We all like a bit of like complimentary behaviour, we all like a bit of attention, realistically. And so that's the good part. The bad part is, you know, there's obviously licensing problems. We get moved on. It's quite demoralising when that happens. There's also people that don't like what you do, and don't get me wrong, it doesn't get to me anymore. However, it did get to me a lot back in the day. Like, it got to me so much. If you do want to get into like the music industry, busking is probably the best first step to take, because not only do you get contacts when like people walk past, they like your stuff. Like, they could be like a music promoter or an agent or something like that. They could be in the music industry. And also, as I say, it works on your confidence in front of the crowd, which is something you definitely need to work on. You need to work on a personality, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be boring. You have to kind of engage with the audience. You have to talk to them. You also have to like get them wanting to give you money, you know what I mean? Get them wanting, like, they want to fucking like follow your Instagram or your Spotify. So yeah, no, it's I think I would encourage every aspiring musician to come out onto the streets and busk.
That's all from us. We'll be back next week with coverage of the general election. But in the meantime, be sure to look at our website, where our team have explored the consequences of cladding on student accommodation and the rise in slaughterhouse protests. As always, we'd like to hear from you, so any feedback would be encouraged. You can contact our team via Twitter using the handle @Millennia News, or keep up with our latest stories on our Instagram, titled Millennia_News. But for now, goodbye.